Hey you guys, my name is Talia Washington. I'm a part of the women's ODU Monarchs basketball team. I'm here with the best mascot in the world, Big Blue. And today we'll be reading you a book by Ellie Jakes by Sally Warner. We're going to start with chapter 11, and it's called That Special Book. It is a Tuesday morning, and the lady in our school office just posted the list for Friday afternoon's talent show on the bulletin board next to her office door. I got in the show. Oh no, Jared and Stanley got in too. They are whooping and high-fiving each other like crazy in the hall, shouting dude and dog, while Kevin tells everyone who walks in the good news. I feel numb from the top of my hair down to the end of my toenails. See, I was so sure I didn't get in. After I did my first trick, the lady judge with the blonde hair asked me if I could make my coin trick bigger, so people in the back of the audience could see it better. That's when I lost the tiny piece of hope about getting in I had secretly been holding on to. Because what did that lady think? That since I had created 2 quarters out of a dime in front of her very eyes, why not make 2 Frisbees out of the little round plate so the kids in the back row could see the illusion better? Yeah, lady, I can do my coin trick bigger when my hands grow a giant size. That's what I would have said, but I'm too polite thanks to my parents. Instead, I stared at my feet and shook my head no. Well, it was a wonderful trick anyway, she said, trying to cheer me up. Luckily, nothing went wrong with the cut string made whole illusion, and the blonde lady didn't ask me if I could do it with a rope with a horse instead, so everyone could see it better. I guess I could see if my hands were still huge, lady. I was so sure I hadn't gotten in. Congratulations, El Rey, Emma says as Annie Pat smiles. Yes, Corey says. I was really worried, but I knew you'd do it, dude. Your tricks were awesome. As much as I could tell from the 3rd row, anyway. Sorry I'm gonna miss the show, he asked, looking sad. Thanks, I croak. I couldn't see your act very well, Heather complains, especially your first trick, and I was in the 2nd row. I couldn't see that one either, Kevin says, but magic is cool, and so is El Rey, so it's good he got in. Kevin is probably feeling generous because Jared and Stanley are so happy. I wish I was still with my best friend instead of just being half-best. Thanks, I tell him, trying to smile. Only 4 more days until the talent show, when almost no one will be able to see my lame illusions. But even though part of me is horrified I got in, another part of me is feeling tingly and warm, like something truly magical has happened. I wish there was such a thing as real magic. If I was a wizard, for example, I could truly astound even the biggest and the hairiest 6th grader on Friday instead of doing 2 beginner tricks they either already know or won't be able to see. They'll probably all be whispering and texting during my act, even though it's not allowed. Who cares though? Not me. And I kind of can't wait to tell my dad that I got in the show. Maybe he'll be proud of me. We better decide about the special book for Mrs. Sanchez. You know, the one El Rey thought up, Emma says during afternoon recess. Most of us are standing around the tetherbell corner of the playground, though Jared and Stanley are trying to teach some other guys a couple of hip-hop moves near the fence. The wedding shower is this Friday. After the talent show, Emma reminds us. Fiona already said that she'd do the cover. I think I'll draw Mrs. Sanchez in her bride costume, Fiona says, sounding shyer than she should for someone who is good at art. And I might glue real lace around the edges of the book. Ooh, real lace, Annie Pat says, her voice soft. I think our pages should be all the same size, or else the book will look like babies did it. I say, hitting the tetherball hard enough for it to twirl around the pole 3 times. 1 person tetherball. Yes, Emma agrees, like the notebook paper size, okay? Look who's trying to boss everyone around, Cynthia tells Heather. But you can't tell us that she's not all that into picking a fight with Emma, who is usually her favorite target. Not today. I think she really wanted to get in that talent show. Want to trade places with me, Cynthia? Emma's not bossing anyone, Chris says. What do you think Miss Sanchez's book should be about, Cynthia? She acts like she actually wants to know. Maybe she does want to know. Chris, that's nice. Or maybe she's trying to make Cynthia feel better about the talent show. I don't know, Cynthia says, shrugging as if she's too busy to think about it. We could write down recipes, only none of us can cook. Except s'mores on camping trips, Chris says, taking her turn whacking the tetherball. Emma looks thoughtful. What about if we each say something we like about Miss Sanchez? She suggests. No, Corey says, too kiss-uppy. What? Annie Pat says, there's a difference between kissing up and being nice, Corey. And if you can't be nice to someone that at their wedding shower, when can you be nice? That's right, Emma agrees. I think we should say something to Miss Sanchez about getting married, I say. Like, don't do it? I ask silently. I like her the way she is. What do we know about being married? Annie Pat asks, blinking her dark blue eyes. Lots, really, I tell her and everyone. We all have moms and dads, don't we? Some kids have more than 2 parents, I add, thinking of stepmoms and stepdads that a few kids in our class have. Like Emma, whose father lives in a foreign country with a new wife, she told me once. Yeah, everyone standing there mumbles. And aren't we spying on them all the time, basically? I ask. Not snooping spying, Chris frowns. No, I agree. Nothing weird. But we see what's going on with them and we have ideas about what they do and the way that they are. I'm just saying, maybe we should pass those ideas along. You know, to help Miss Sanchez when she... But she has her own mom and dad to tell her about that stuff, Cynthia interrupts, which is something she often does. That's only 2 people, though, I point out. Old people. But if all of us told Miss Sanchez something, just one important thing about being married, lady, she'd have a ton of good advice. We both could, Chris says, coming up with the perfect answer as usual. We could each say something we like about her, number 1, and number 2, give her advice about getting married that way, the way El Rey said. That sounds hard, Heather says, copying Cynthia's complaint from the other day. It's just 2 sentences on a piece of notebook paper, Heather, I say. That's like nothing. And you have 4 days to do it. 3 days at most, Fiona corrects me. Because I have to put the book together all night after I get the pages. Oh yeah, I guess Fiona's in charge of that part because she's doing the cover. Okay, 3 days, I say. That means we have to turn in 2 pages by Thursday night, right? So they'll be ready in time for the party on Friday. But everyone in class has to do a page and we have to keep it secret from Miss Sanchez and our parents, or they'll take over the whole thing. Emma and Annie Pat pinch their lips shut, making X's across them with their pointer fingers, like they've been practicing this secrecy for ages. She'll like our book much better than any vacuum cleaner, Corey says. It's not a contest between presents, Cynthia reminds him. Yeah, but she will, Corey insists. And I think he's right. Who likes to vacuum? Even when they can do it together, like dancing.